Toxic masculinity is when men try too hard to be masculine and end up being total jerks instead. Here's the difference between both. Alpha is confident, physically and mentally strong, dominant, doesn't put women above himself, controls his emotions, and has morals. Jerk is arrogant, aggressive, rude, doesn't respect women, can't control his anger, and has no morals whatsoever. As you can see, there are worlds between them. To everyone crying about toxic masculinity, as soon as they hear the word masculine, grow up and learn to differentiate. Wanting to be more masculine is not toxic. Macho versus masculine. I think that just as a large part of being really cool is not caring if people think you are cool, a big part of being masculine is not caring about being masculine. Masculinity is not self-conscious or thin-skinned. A gay man propositions you. You smile at the compliment and say, "Sorry, dude. I just don't swing that way," and go on about your business. Macho feels the need to commit violence to prove to everyone he isn't gay. I think Macho doth protest too much. When a woman breaks up with a masculine man, he feels sad it didn't work out, then moves on to try his luck elsewhere. Plenty of fish in the sea, and he doesn't doubt that he will dine on fish soon enough. Macho man thinks burning down the nightclub where his ex is out on a date with a new guy is a good option. A masculine man figures he has man points to spare and isn't overly concerned with the outside trappings of what most consider manly. He has swagger and confidence and charisma and knows that being a man and manly is with him at all times an inherent and incorruptible quality. A macho man has to zealously defend against any perceived threat to his fragile and superficial masculinity. Here are some masculine traits. 1. Physical. Whether competing for food, fighting hand-to-hand, or challenging each other in the sporting arena, mastery of one's own physical abilities is an important part of being a man. The most primitive, yet still one of the most prominent traits. A man's physical capability affects everything from self-preservation to mating preferences. The health and virility of a male make him an appealing candidate for partnership with the opposite sex, while his strength and stature still prove to be influential factors in both the social and business world. 2. Functional. Throughout time, a man's ability and desire to provide for those that depend on him has been central to his masculinity. While utilizing a combination of physical ability, wit, savvy, and ambition to succeed, his role as the breadwinner is what drives a man to achieve. No matter the geographic location or social situation, men work primarily to feed and create an environment of comfort for their wives and family. This is the commonly accepted role of the man within the social system and proves a formidable challenge that every man must accept. 3. Sexual. When it comes to partnership, the man is perceived to be the less affected of the genders. Traditionally, it has been more acceptable for a man to remain a bachelor later in life compared to a woman. The desire for independence and freedom from the command of others is typically a masculine trait. A man's role as the aggressor in finding a mate is frequently recognized in most cultures, leaving him to seek out and pursue his interest. Although this sounds like an archaic and primeval practice, it is still a very large part of the courting process in modern society. In fact, this image of man's independence has become so accepted, and even glorified in mainstream culture, that married men often feel compelled to follow this independence still. So, before marrying, ensure that you recognize the challenges that will come your way no matter what, and that you both have a firm commitment to make it last. 4. Emotional. The denial of one's emotions is ingrained in men from a very early age. The phrase "boys don't cry" sums it up. Whatever his position, a man must manage without regard to the emotional effect that issues have on him. The ability to suppress personal feelings enables men to maintain an objective view of the circumstance and carry on. A man is then able to make rational decisions, whether in a situation as small as an interpersonal debate or as catastrophic as a bloody battlefield. That said, it is necessary and healthy for men to have someone that they can confide in. A mentor, a brother, a friend, and let the old guard down once in a while so that stress isn't bottled up to the point of exploding. 5. Intellectual. Men are seen to rely on their intellectual capabilities rather than on emotion or intuition. The utilization of reason and logic enables men to view situations objectively and thus respond to them in a rational way. Only factual information is considered, while feelings are deemed unsuitable evidence on which to base decisions. Education and the acquisition of knowledge are viewed as important factors in male development. 6. Interpersonal. In interpersonal relationships, men are prone to adopt leadership roles and take the initiative to act on the other's behalf. This can manifest itself negatively in the form of dominant behavior, by suppressing the will of others in the name of self-interest. However, this leadership can also be utilitarian. It is highly effective in the family model, as the father is able to establish order in the household. Giving direction and acting as a disciplinarian are common functions of men as a result. Among some of the other characteristics commonly attributed to men are ambition, pride, honor, competitiveness, and a sense of adventure. These are not necessarily the attributes possessed by the perfect man. Rather, they are displayed to varying degrees, in one way or another, in most all men. They may reveal themselves differently from man to man, as one may use his power and influence for selfish interests, while another will strive for the greater good. Each man must assess his own strengths and weaknesses and find the best use for his vital characteristics.